What is poppin', fight fans, and welcome to another edition of the Mystic Hour. I am your host, Darnell Giovanni, aka Mystic Black, and I got one of my favorite people on today, round three, with a 14-fight UFC veteran. She fights Jessica Maia next Saturday at UFC 264. You know her, the evil one, Jessica Ibai.
What's going on?
How you doing,
Greatly so.
Jess?
Thank you. I'm doing pretty well. It is so hot in Vegas, so it is made for very easy weight cutting.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about the weight cutting as well. It's hot down here in Florida, but we haven't seen you since January. How have you been? Have you been injured or they just haven't offered you a fight?
Man, so there's always so much. I feel like I'd be lying to say that there hasn't been small injuries throughout the camp. Nothing that has been substantial enough to like pull us out of a fight. But I mean, you know how it is. We're fighting. Like it'd be like asking a football player if at practice getting hit by the other guy didn't hurt. It hurts. So, this is what we signed up for. But it's been an exceptionally great camp. I've just really found my niche here in Vegas. I'm really finding a balance like with my health, and it's just things seem to be really coming together. I think maybe I forced it a little bit back in January, and I didn't let things kind of develop, and it showed my fight, and it showed my lack of athletic professionalism, I guess, or like skill set in the cage. So kind of made me look way worse than I really am. But it really showcased that, I was dealing with health issues. The weight cut was not hard. We cut one day and, like just there so I'm taking um, coming on
You're,
Monday. So
you're perfect. Your microphone went down there for a second. You're good now. You're good now.
okay.
And during that fight, the Calderwood fight, which didn't go your way, do you feel the weight cutting was a big part of your performance?
Oh no, not at all. I don't think it had nothing to do with my performance. My lack of coaching there, and it's not to say anything against my brother or Darren, who is my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, or even one of the top, wrestlers that I had in my corner. I had some very skilled people with me. I just don't think that it was the right mix for the right time, and I just think it was a lot, kind of going into an important fight, and I didn't give JoJo the respect as the fighter. Maybe I still don't give it to her as a person because she's not a nice person, and I'm not gonna fake like she is when she constantly says stuff about me. But as the fighter, I have to give it to her. She had great takedown defense on the cage, and I really wasn't expecting that. And we really didn't get to the next level in our training had we'd spent a couple more weeks. And in that camp, I was working with Jake Shields, and had we had just a few more weeks, I think that some of the things that we've been practicing would have been a little bit more embedded in my brain for the actual game plan. Because the game plan, I didn't do the game plan in the fight at all, at all. Like I did like half the game plan. I like put the foot in the game plan. That was it.
Yeah, and on your Instagram, you said you've been a vegan now. So pretty much, I'm assuming that's probably only eating meat and not other things. Has that helped your stomach issues a lot?
Yeah, like you could give it a whole name. Like you got paleo, you got keto. Like I am a vegan. So basically, I'm a meat vegan. I call myself, and I don't really want to offend a bunch of vegans. Truly, mine is for dietary issues. I have to. I actually struggle with more vegetables, which like I'm more like a, a meat vegan fruitarian, because fruit seems to really not bother me, but vegetables are not like my best friend. I have to be really careful with them. Between the allergy, lack of gallbladder, and having IBS, so like I just don't deal very well with it. But it's been great. I don't think I've dieted once. I've been strict, and lifestyle changes have been great, but it's been really great. Like my mental focus and fortitude has been just through the roof because I just don't feel like I'm dealing with headaches, brain fog, like inflammation, just like overall body inflammation, like was just really, really hard.
Yeah, and you got Jennifer Maia coming up next Saturday. What's your
I
mindset
like
going
that
into
you
this
called
fight?
her
I
Jessica.
call it Jennifer Maia.
It's actually funny. Here's a small fact for you. Um, for years, my whole life, people have called me Jennifer I. Always. I could have a name tag on and it says clearly Jessica I. People are like, hey, Jennifer. Like that.
No.
But um, man, she's a seasoned vet. She wouldn't be here if she wasn't good. She has a very strong sense of ability, in the sense like she really sticks to her game plan in the fights, and it's a lot of forward pressure. I see a lot of holes in her game, and I fix a lot of holes in my game. It's crazy with the guys that I started working with them in the JoJo fight, but we just, not everybody can go to Abu Dhabi for 10 days. You know what I mean? A lot of us, a lot of coaches in this industry, and as we already know about fighter pay as well as coaching pay, these guys have multiple jobs. So when someone says you got to go 10 days to Abu Dhabi, like it's hard to get, some people. So that being said, my coaching staff and I have went back and watched the last couple of fights, and one of like the things that I never did in any of my fights that like became a terribly bad habit was me bringing my right leg forward when I would throw my hand. That's untraditional to my fight style, untraditional to my boxing style. And I think really if Jennifer's looking at a lot of my fights, the past 3 fights, she might see that, if she focuses on those ones, she's going to find those mistakes that I was making. I fixed my mistakes. So when I fix my mistakes, I don't lose. Like I fixed my mistake in the Valentina fight, I don't get knocked out. I fix my health. I don't lose the Cynthia fight. I fix my coaching staff. I don't lose the JoJo fight. So, and these are all things I can just say. I just have to go out and really prove it. And that's why my dear, I've actually answered your request for an interview. I'm pretty much going ghost on everybody because I just don't really want people to interview me and bring out the bad sides of me and not be empathetic to the things that, I've understand. So I'm only interviewing with people that maybe had a family member that lost their gallbladder and they seen how bad their family member took it, or someone deals with gut issues, or someone who's like empathetic to me for once instead of just feeding the machine.
And I appreciate that so much, Jez. Of course, I always love having you on. And do you think beating Jennifer Maia will fast track you back to that title, because she just fought for the title before
Absolutely.
this? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the UFC does what they want. They do what they want. If I go out there and I showcase why I can, more than likely, I think what they would end up doing, and this is just me playing, the middle part, because I know that people would throw a fit. They'd probably make me fight one more time.
Yeah.
Or they would let me have the winner or loser of Lauren Murphy and Valentina, and then that be a gatekeeper to go back, to it. But I'll fight anybody I've lost to. I don't fight people I've won against. There's no reason for that. And I could see how other people could say that for me, but a lot of people who have lost to me have been like, man, I really got by on that one. I wasn't at her best. And, I look at things that way. Like we sometimes forget to look at us like we are, I'm 14 fights. I'm 14 fights in the UFC, 14 years into my MMA career. And my overall record, like if we look at the years, like some years, just like NFL teams, just like NBA teams, certain years, certain teams have a great year. And then next year they come out and they bomb. And that means that things have to change. Like I am an evolving fighter. I'm an evolving team. I'm an evolving person. And I hope that people can see that. And I hope that they can be empathetic with that, as I am empathetic with the rest of the world, and even allowing them to have any say so at all. When someone says I'm not doing something right, I take it into consideration. I was getting my nails done the other day, and the nail guy was like, Jessica, what happened? You just used to be so dynamic. When are we going to see you back that way? And I appreciate it. Like I appreciated his approach towards me too. And he was not wrong. And I'm not going to hate on someone for not, showcasing, skill set that they see I'm lacking on. I just don't think everybody deserves to have input.
And speaking of keeping it in the flyweight division, Caitlin Chukagan, who's somebody you've beaten in the past, made a comment about a fighter who put out a GoFundMe. Jake Paul retweeted it. He donated to it, and she said, "When I fought, I used to work and then I'd go training." Do you agree with her, or do you think the UFC as a billion-dollar company shouldn't have fighters creating GoFundMe to fund a training camp?
So the way that me and Caitlin started out, we were the OGs, man. Women's
Yeah.
fighting was non-existent. We were basically starting, a lane for women to be able to go in. So I was fortunate. I quit my job at 19 years old that I was currently working at, and was able to use settlement money from a car accident, and had a very good backing. Myself, Steve Miosic, my ex-teammate, we had a very rich set of people that really wanted to see us do well. So I was fortunate enough to work in a gym, and I had a good setting. Not everybody has that. So for those who do not have that, like, now I feel like it's lack of trying. And I know that might sound, the money's out there if you go out and get it. Maybe it's a job doing, working in a gym, and you're putting yourself in that setting. That's what a lot of us fighters did in the early years. We would always do, stuff like that. So,
Sorry, Jeff. My
you know,
computer just blew up on me.
that's
I'm still
okay.
listening to you.
That's okay. I figured I can roll with it. Um,
Yeah.
so, what I can say about that, right? Like, you do whatever you want to do, ask whoever you want for money. But small fact for you, I believe the NBA is 50% of the NBA athletes make earnings off of what the NBA is. We only make 17%. Fighter pay. So there is a gap. There should be higher pay for us. I don't disagree in that way. But I don't know where that goes now. You know what I mean? We're now owned by a multi-billion-dollar company that is an entertainment industry. We're no longer owned by private owners and by private people, and I just don't know how or when that'll happen. So if she wants to go do a GoFundMe, people want to donate, I mean, I feel like that's only a one and done kind of thing. You know what I mean? You only get that GoFundMe one time, and then after that, people are like, hey man, what are you doing for yourself? Because a lot of us did. A lot of us girls in the beginning years hustled ourselves. You know what I mean? I would sell tickets. I always sold tickets to all of my fights. Even when I was in Bellator, I still sold tickets
Yeah.
to make extra money, at that time. So it's like, you know, you I wish we got more. I think, to sum it up, I wish we got more pay. um she better, kick her butt in gear and just, try to find as much support as she can, because that GoFundMe won't keep working.
Yeah, and recently Sha'Carri Richardson, a track runner, got suspended for marijuana, and she won't be able to compete in the Olympics. You've gone through that before, earlier in your career, getting suspended and getting a win overturned to a no contest. Do you think that's fair for that to happen with athletes? And do you feel that marijuana helps more than, some people use painkillers for certain things? Do you think that it gives an athlete an advantage?
Everything you said, I think it's unfair that they're doing to her, but they do this to people. They make an example out of them. They did it to me. They made an example out of me, and drag people through the mud. um but unfortunately, that dragging through the mud, there's always something good at the end of it, and all that this is going to do is build her popularity and showcase why, athletes, should be able to stand up for something that is medically used and something that is medicinally used, but is also legal in multiple states. So, is most recently moved from USADA, NFL, NBA, they've all changed their stuff. So I think that we're, again, as athletes, we're going through that time of change where things, are evolving. I hate that this is happening to her. If, she was going to do amazing things, and there's no reason to do that. There's just no reason to be treating it this way, especially at this point. Not when psychedelics are legal in the United States and decriminalized. Like, that's not okay. And I'm not a fan of psychedelics. It's just not my thing. I'm a fan of marijuana, love it all day. I'm all about it. So, but to each is their own, right? Like, but these are things that are legal and decriminalized in the place that we reside. So, it's kind of a gray area that needs to be shaded.
Do you feel that you
Sorry, can you say that again? You kind of cut out.
can you no?
Oh, wait, there you go. It just keeps cutting out.
Keep cutting out. Oh, sorry. I was saying Las Vegas. Does that feel like home now, or do you think you ever end up back in Ohio?
Oh no, I'll never end up like full-time back in Ohio.
No.
I love and miss all my friends like dearly. Like my friends there were like my family in so many ways, and I miss them. But no, Vegas feels like home. I don't plan to leave anytime soon. I am moving out of my house the week after the fight to actually try to purchase something. So and it's been a crazy market out here with the housing. So no, Vegas feels more like home. I finally feel like I found a good team, and the High Rollers facility has been incredible. They've been letting me train there all the time, and it's been super empowering, and I love being around that entire facility. So I've been training there a lot more. So I feel like I have some privacy to myself, but then I also have the PI, which I love, Bo Sandoval, the PT room. It's all really great. I have some mix where I can work with all the other teams that are local here, but not like feel like I have to commit to another fight team again and, rock some other fight team's colors. I don't want to do that. Not since I left Strong Style. It's kind of like once you divorce, you don't want to remarry.
Yeah, I got you. And of course, I have to ask you, you're on the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier card. Do you have a prediction for the main event?
Mm-mm.
No
No,
prediction?
I don't really, what's crazy is like, I've been so engulfed in myself and it's been so great. Like and I'm sure they feel the same way. They don't care about me. I'm on the fucking prelims. They could care less about me. Like if someone was like, hey Jess, like I'm super pumped about you. Like I'm pumped about Brad Tavares. You know what I mean? I'm pumped about Ryan Hall. Like these are people I've had interactions with or talked with. So like go for those guys.
Absolutely, Jess. And anything you want to say to your fans out there? Anything you want to push or promote after you broke the internet yesterday? The floor is yours.
Yes, well, I want to give everybody a huge shout out for supporting me on my OnlyFans. Anybody who's actually on there knows what I'm selling. I'm really selling personal contact, and yes, there will be some butt cheeks pictures every once in a while on there if you'd like to purchase them. I like to keep my adult side to my OnlyFans side and try to keep as much as my public persona and my under 18 content on IG. So I appreciate everyone's support. I appreciate yours. Hopefully next time I'm down in Miami, we'll get to meet up and get some empanadas and get some Cuban coffee. But thank you for supporting me. I'm glad we got to catch up.
Absolutely, Jess. We'll talk again soon, and I appreciate you for coming on. Jessica I fights Jennifer Maia next Saturday on UFC prelims. Good luck next Saturday, Jess.
Thanks.
No problem.